our Glory Globe TV. Here's the breaking news from Gaza. Salwa TV recalls how she covered several mines on foot in southern Gaza in a desperate search for blankets and seats that might help keep her 4 children and other young relatives warm at night. The aid worker, 53, told CNN she and her husband were full of fear as they ventured out to buy supplies for the approaching winter season in Rafah, risking exposure to potential Israeli airstrikes. I felt bad for the kids. They had nothing to keep them warm and we were dying from the cold at night, said TV, who works at the humanitarian agency Care International. She is staying in a rented house with at least 20 relatives including 8 children and babies, the youngest of whom is 3 months old. The kids, she said, were screaming all day from hunger as winds, heavy rains and cooler temperatures descend on Gaza from November to February. Aid workers and civilians trying to survive persistent bombardment told CNN they face harsh living conditions, insufficient access to warm clothing and outbreaks of disease in overcrowded makeshift shelters. Food, fuel and water are ever scarce and the price of what little remains is spiraling. The number of people killed in Israeli attack in Gaza since October 7 has risen to 18,412. The Hamas-controlled health ministry in the enclave said Tuesday. CNN cannot independently verify the numbers on Sunday. The Israel Defense Forces said it had struck more than 22,000 targets in Gaza since October 7 when it launched its military operation in response to Hamas attack on Israel, in which more than 1,200 people were killed and over 240 taken hostages. Senior US officials have warned Israel to minimize civilian casualties in South, where it has now stepped up its military campaign targeting Hamas after previously telling Gazans to flee from the north of the Strait. Civilians like TV, who have been displaced multiple times since the fighting began, were forced to pack their belongings again and journey further south, near to the border with Egypt, as Israel on December 3rd issues evacuation order on social media ahead of the expansions of its ground offensive to the whole of the territory. CNN has previously reported on Palestinian civilians who followed evacuation orders later being killed by Israeli strikes. Several Palestinians who spoke to CNN, some of whom are sleeping on the streets with no shelter, say they are living with the threat of imminent death, either by an airstrike, starvation or untreated disease. The rainy season will compound every survival challenge for civilians who say they are already exhausted by a war that has torn apart their homeland. If the situation stays this tragic, then Gaza is going to starve, said TV. Behind the report, Glory Globe TV.